Well, it's less than a fortnight to Christmas. There isn't a great deal to be done here, but what we did do today is, as we came onto the plot, we just started filming all the different plots so we could show you the different states of readiness that they're in. Unfortunately, as you'll see from the following clip, we found rather a nasty surprise. Well, interspersed amongst all the broken sheds and hasps and tools used to commit these burglaries, we've showed you a few different plots and a few different states of the plots. At this time of the year there isn't a great deal to do, but what you can do is get yourself ready for next year. So as you know, we've been putting stuff in for overwintering, but clearing the other beds out and getting them prepared. The alternative is to leave it to go to rack and ruin, and then you've got a real devil of a job in the once Christmas is past and the bad weather's passed, to get the plot back on shape. What we're going to do now is just walk you around the plot as we did on the very first episode and show you the position that we're in. We'll start off with bed 1. This was the potato bed where we had the experimental potatoes with the long shoots, others without any shoots at all. Once we'd had the crop removed from there, we moved this on to overwintering. As you're aware, we've got the leeks in here, some onions, and we put some moolies in. I've had a look at these moolies and they're moving on, but they're definitely not ready yet to be harvested. Standing on the first part of the newly made path, we come to bed 2, which was the cucurbits, which was very successful this year. All removed now, just a layer of manure, because this is going to be the spuds next year. The next bed on the plot was one of the permanent beds, strawberries and asparagus. Not a great deal to say about that at the moment. And then we move on to bed 3 on our rotation, which is the brassicas. Still got brassicas going, and I've got to be down here Christmas morning to get some more of these Reuben sprouts out to put on the dinner plate. The benefits of a greenhouse. Despite the frosts that we've been having, it's 50 degrees in here, which is very pleasant. There's not a lot going on in here, but there is some work to be done. What we're going to have to do is clear it all out and get it set up for next year, much as we did with the shed. Not going to film myself doing this, but perhaps next week we'll show you a sparkling, clean and tidy greenhouse. As you can see from this abundance of green and purple, the herb bed, which we started up this year, has been quite successful. Some of them haven't been so good, but we'll look through the catalogues and decide what else we're going to put in here. But it's quite a healthy herb bed, very pleased with that. My personal choice isn't to put a padlock on the shed, I just put a couple of bricks against it. What it does save is the replacement hasp padlocks and any damage to the shed. Fortunately it was nice and tidy so they could see there was nothing worth taking, because I don't leave anything of value in here, so we haven't actually suffered as much as other people have. Fruit cage, you saw us rebuild in an earlier episode. We've since taken a roof off so that there's no snow, leaves, etc. piling up on top of it and causing damage. That will be replaced next year, and we will be putting some sterling efforts into the fruit plot, even though we've got quite a large fruit plot further down the allotment. As you remember, we built the compost blocks and they're getting filled up nicely. Come on to bed 4 now. This was the bean and the field of dreams where all the sweet corn grew so well this year. This probably needs the most work done on it. The timber recovered from Woolworths many years ago is finally giving up the ghost, so we're going to have to rebuild that. We've shown you how to make your raised beds out of recycled timber, but it needs a good weeding, clearing out and getting it ready for the brassicas for next year. I think we've shown you this bed for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks. This is the old second potato bed, bed 5. It's overwintering broad beans, garlics and onions, and we put a bean trench in. So this one is going to produce some crops over the winter, and then it's also going to be fairly easy to get ready for next year. The root bed is still being productive. We've still got carrots in, we've got parsnips in. As I say, Christmas morning, whilst everybody's opening their presents, I'll be digging up the dinner. Hopefully we'll get a good return. The carrots, as we showed you a fortnight ago, are fine. Just have to see how the parsnips get on. Still got the cloche here with the lettuces, they're still surviving, give them a little water before we finish off. Brassica cage number 2, we've still got some cabbages and other bits and pieces grown in here. Spring greens, spring cabbages that we put in are surviving still, so looks like we're getting over winter crop out of them. Finally bed 8, nice crop out of this one this year. We had the broad beans, the peas. Mons 2 were not quite so successful, but they were bought from a garden centre rather than grown in the greenhouse. Started off in the greenhouse, and we had the fire tongue and the sultana beans, which gave us a great crop, which were turned, a lot of them were turned into Indian pakoras. We've mulched the bed. It's going to be the brassica bed next year, so simple crop rotation, everything moving round. I'm not going to be doing much work down here this weekend. I've got lots of other stuff to do. We will come for the last couple of weeks of the year, but hopefully we'll just be giving you a bit of advice on what you can start preparing for next year.